What is it that makes a story immortal? Today, we're going to dive into a book that did so much more than just sell millions of copies. I mean, it literally created an entire world that a whole generation grew up in. We're talking about the story of a boy with a lightning bolt scar, the start of a legend. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
It's honestly hard to overstate the impact this book had. I mean, look at this quote from the Times. Rowling has woken up a whole generation to reading, and it's so true. It wasn't just another story. It was a total cultural reset. It gave us all this shared language of magic, didn't it? And, like all the best legends, this one starts somewhere, well, somewhere completely ordinary.
Right. The ordinary world. A boy in a cupboard. Every great hero's journey has to start somewhere normal, right? But for Harry, wow, his normal was a cupboard under the stairs. At number 4, Privet Drive, he wasn't this famous boy who lived. Nope, he was just an unwanted kid, a burden to his relatives, the Dursleys, living a life with absolutely zero magic in it.
And this is what sets up the central conflict so perfectly. On one hand, you've got the Dursleys. They are absolutely obsessed with being perfectly normal, and they hate anything unusual. But then on the other hand, from the very first page, the book is telling us that strange and mysterious things are about to happen. So their rigid little world, it's about to get completely shattered. And that is the tension that just kicks the whole plot into gear.
So, Harry's 11th birthday is coming up, and this is where his ordinary world really starts to crack. And the first sign? Oh, it's an avalanche of letters. And they're all addressed with this impossible precision, right? Mr. H. Potter, the cupboard under the stairs. His uncle goes crazy trying to stop them, but it's no use. This is a call to adventure that is just not taking no for an answer.
See, the thing is, the Dursleys have been hiding the truth from Harry his entire life. They told him his parents died in a car crash, a total lie. But the magical world, well, it never forgot him. And that secret, the real truth about who he is and where he comes from, it's literally about to come crashing through the door.
And then, this. You're a wizard, Harry. I mean, chills, right? This is the moment. Everything changes. With just 4 simple words from this giant man, Hagrid, Harry's whole reality is just rewritten. He's not ordinary. He's not alone anymore. He belongs somewhere, to a world of magic he never ever knew existed.
So, this letter, it's not just a revelation, right? It's an invitation. This is his formal escape route from the Dursleys. It's the official start of his real life, at a school for people just like him, a school dedicated to the extraordinary.
Okay, so Harry's introduction to the magical world, it's a total sensory overload. You have to imagine it. From this bustling hidden street called Diagon Alley to that very first glimpse of Hogwarts Castle across the lake, every single sight and sound is just filled with wonder. And for Harry, it's the promise of finally finding a place where he belongs.
And just look at this shopping list. Seriously, nothing says you're not on Privet Drive anymore, quite like buying a cauldron, a wand, and oh yeah, having the option to bring an owl or a cat or a toad to school. It's these weird little details that make the whole wizarding world feel so incredibly real and just enchanting.
So, when you get to Hogwarts, you're introduced to one of the most important traditions at the school, the 4 houses. And they're way more than just dorms. These houses, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin, they basically become your family. They shape who you are and the friends you make for your entire time there.
And how do they get into these houses? Well, it's the sorting ceremony. It's this huge rite of passage where a magical hat literally reads your mind and figures out your potential. But for Harry, this becomes his first real test. The hat considers putting him in Slytherin, the house of the Dark Wizard who killed his parents. And Harry's choice, his decision to reject that path, that proves to be way more powerful than any of his so-called predetermined abilities.
Okay, so life at Hogwarts isn't all about magic lessons and making new friends like Ron and Hermione. Nope. Pretty quickly, Harry stumbles onto a really dangerous secret. There's something super valuable hidden inside the castle, and it's becoming very clear that someone is trying to steal it.
So this is the big question, right? The thing that drives the whole plot. Dumbledore tells all the students, stay away from the 3rd floor corridor. But of course, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione accidentally find a giant 3-headed dog guarding a trap door, well, their curiosity just takes over. I mean, what on earth could need that much protection?
And the breakthrough, it comes from the most unlikely place you could imagine. The back of a chocolate frog card. Yeah, a candy wrapper. The name Nicholas Flamel, an alchemist and a partner of Dumbledore's, that's the first real key. It's the clue that starts to unlock this whole dangerous secret.
So this is it. This is what's being guarded. The Philosopher's Stone. a legendary object that can grant you unbelievable wealth and eternal life. It's the ultimate prize. And then Harry realizes, with just pure horror, who's trying to steal it. Lord Voldemort. The same dark wizard who murdered his parents, now trying to come back to power.
So it all comes down to this, the final confrontation. Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they decide they have to be the ones to protect the stone. They go through this whole series of magical trials that test everything, their courage, their brains, their loyalty to each other. And it all leads Harry to a final, absolutely terrifying showdown with the man who gave him that scar.
In that final chamber, Harry's not just facing Professor Quirrell, he's facing the parasitic form of Voldemort himself. And this is where the Dark Lord lays out his whole philosophy. There is no good and evil, there is only power, and those too weak to seek it. I mean, it's a total dismissal of morality, right? It's all about the absolute pursuit of power, and that's the ideology Harry has to fight against.
But here's the thing. Voldemort is dead wrong. Harry survives this confrontation because of a kind of deep, ancient magic that he doesn't even understand yet. It's the protective love of his mother who died to save him. That sacrifice literally lives on in his skin, and it's a kind of power that Voldemort, who's just filled with hate, can't even touch.
So Harry wakes up in the hospital wing. He saved the stone, he survived his encounter with Voldemort, and it's here that the headmaster, Albus Dumbledore, explains everything. The truth about love, about sacrifice, and about the choices that really, truly define who we are.
And when Harry asks about Nicholas Flamel, because, now that the stone is destroyed, he has to die, Dumbledore offers this incredibly profound piece of wisdom. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. He's teaching Harry that it's the fear of death that drives people like Voldemort to do such terrible things. But true wisdom, that's about accepting death as just a natural part of life.
So in the end, Harry's first year is all about discovering that real power, it isn't found in immortality or in gold. It's found in friendship, in courage, and in love. The Philosopher's Stone might offer eternal life, but the story itself, well, it achieves its own kind of immortality through these themes that never get old. And that kind of leaves us wondering, right? What is it exactly that gives a story the power to last forever?